Welcome back to RealVacantLand.com. This is Luke Smith. I've got another property for you. This one is 65 miles to Portland, Oregon. It's Portland, Oregon. This is in southern Washington. Portland's in northern Oregon. The border is the Columbia River Gorge. It's just a beautiful river. This property is on the Cowlitz River. It's in Cowlitz County. And this river in the background is not Cowlitz River, but it's just to paint a picture that the property is right on the river. So let's jump into the website and take a look at this thing. This is RuralVacantLand.com. Got my little picture up here, Luke Smith, phone number. Please feel free to call me, ask me questions about this property. I'll try to help best I can. I've got the price over here. I'm asking $29,999. It's just shy of $30,000. It's just shy of 3 acres. It's 2.95 acres. So 2.95 acres of Cowlitz County, Washington. We got some pictures, cartoons, and stuff. So it's a long, skinny one with a bigger chunk at the top. So I think the southern parts of the property down here don't really matter. It's this chunk up the top that makes the most sense. We'll try to focus in on that in a couple different maps coming up here pretty soon. Here's some trees that are on the property from the street view. This is the highway that goes by there, and then the trees on the other side. And we'll look at that again in some more maps. And right, oh, the Cowlitz fishing spots right across the river. Maybe we can pull that up on the map too. So you get some pictures of what kind of fish people are catching. I bet you it's a salmon. This is, you just go salmon fishing right off the front of your, I don't know if you can put a dock in there and try, right? Put a little deck overlooking the river and cast your line out and catch some salmon right from the front of your property. Put your lawn chair, you build one into the deck, put a grill out there. Maybe a sunshade. I don't know if you need a sunshade up here or not, but if it was down here, I'd put a sunshade. So here's the property. So it's a long, goofy shaped thing. There's a rail line that runs along here, and then there's a road. So the access to this property is going to be challenging. You're going to, if you want to stop on the side of the road and shuck supplies across the rail line, maybe just watch for trains, right? You could always access it from the river. I think there's a landing right here, so you could kayak over or boat and stuff from there to the property, but it's going to be adventurous. It's not going to be drive up friendly unless you got, like a good sized truck and you're comfortable just driving across the railroad tracks every time. It's the access to challenge this one. That's why it's so cheap. So this chunk of property here is right on the river. Look at this river. It's flowing. It's got some logs in there. Man, I'd want to go fishing by all those logs. I wonder what kind of fish are hiding under there. I want to see this fishing spot. So this is a public fishing spot here. There's a boat launch. Yeah, there's a boat launch right there. So there's a public boat launch just across the other side of the river. You launch in there a little bit downstream and you're right into your property. This is the land. So let's see if we can do some 3D on this. See if we can see some topography. I've never done this before in this property, so we'll see what we see. Okay, so it looks like they're showing a bank. So it looks like there's a bank, which is healthy. It doesn't mean it's like totally flood zone kind of stuff. So like good bank from the water level up in. That might be just because of the trees. It might be because of the ground. I'm not really sure. So you'd want to get back in there and go walk through it. Make sure you don't fall like waist deep in the mud because you don't want to build on that kind of ground. So just go in there and make sure the ground's solid and it works. And you can talk to the county, you can talk to engineers, you can talk to all kinds of specialists to study this thing if you want to. But I figure the right kind of fish-loving monger like myself would like to have their own salmon fishing spot on the stream. So if you would like that, it's right here. You could put a launch place. You could probably park on the side of the highway and run your kayaks over and go launch on your own property. And you could do that kind of stuff, right? Everyone say, "Oh, you're trespassing." No, I'm not. Here's my deed right here, dude. This is my land. I can fish here. You can't get. Like it would be yours. You could do that. And so there's the property. There's the boat launch right across from it. So it looks like a good chunk of woods in there. Build a cabin on the hill. I don't know about the regulations building a cabin on the hill without the without proper access to the property, but maybe you build a cabin that people can't see. I don't know. Leave it up to you guys. I just got the land really cheap. Someone will figure it out. So here's the property. and a whole bunch of coastline there along the river. So as we zoom out some more, eventually we'll see Portland down to the south. Portland's down here to the south. So we go through Castle Rock, west side, Longview. Longview is a little bit larger of a town. You get supplies and stuff there. As you keep going south, down the 5, you get all the way to Portland. You get the major supplies. Vancouver, Washington, you get to Vancouver before Portland, but you get the idea. So from the property to Longview to get groceries is probably not that much. There might be groceries that are closer too. I pulled up the map from the property to Portland because Portland's the major town in the area that I know, and it's 65 miles, just hour and 5 minutes this time of day. Doesn't look like there's any traffic coming up on there. And there's a bunch of towns you could go to before you go that far down south, but that's just an example of where this is at. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the ruralvacantland.com so you guys can play with these maps. You can play with these pictures, you can study it, you can look at it 100 different ways by going to the link in the description of this video. And that link will take you back to ruralvacantland.com where you can look at this property. We've got other properties in this county, in this area as well, but they're not on the river. Like this one is on the river and it's cheap. So looking for the right sportsman to go take advantage of this thing and have fun with it. $29,999. There's a buy it now button. I'm not sure if it's set up yet because we just made this ad like a couple minutes ago. But we'll get this set up so you can do a $500 deposit to hold the property and keep it for yourself as we go do the rest of the paperwork. I would like to do this through a title company, and we'll take it to probably a First American title shop where I can get some of my investor rates because I do so many deals with them. Or there's just lots of different title shops. We really have specific one in mind, but I'd like to use the First American ones, and like to do like a 10-day close. So if you put down the $500, expect to pay the rest of it within 10 days. It's not 500 down and then 500 a month or something. I'm not doing that. I don't have the money to keep doing that on these properties. This is too much money for me to be able to do that. I can do that on the little tiny ones, but not these kinds of properties. So there's GPS coordinates over here. The green link over here is GPS coordinates. You click on that in your phone, you get driving directions straight to the property, and it'll probably look like, when you get there, we'll just go back and we'll do some, I wanted to do street view. We'll go do street view over here, and you got to understand, so you get there and there's a train track. There's an actual train track between here and the property. So getting across that train track is why the property's cheap. So yeah, you can walk across it and go look at the property and everything, but when it comes to building on the other side of that train track and like getting a truckload of cement delivered, like could you imagine having the bucket of cement going across the train track when a train comes? Like cement truck can't move that fast. Like you can't just keep shucking all your supplies across the tracks. You're gonna have to like take bags and you're gonna have to mix it on your own. You're gonna always have to be on the lookout crossing those tracks. And yeah, I mean, maybe if you go up and down the track here somewhere, there's a crossing, and then lots of times you could drive next to the tracks. You might be able to do that if you study it and you go there, but I'm not there in person to go figure that out. So the right kind of person that's got the spirit and the energy and the ideas could go there and probably figure that out. Maybe I see one right here, but that's not. That's just somebody telling you don't drive into that hole. You know, so there's the river. You can see the river right across the tracks from there. And this will still be your land, I think, along this route. We've got GPS coordinates down below to go walk all the property lines. This is a boatload of GPS coordinates because it's a crazy looking shaped property. But I mean, you could follow these GPS coordinates around the property and figure out where the lot lines are. It's basically just one big long stretch of land between the tracks and the river. So if you find the southernmost GPS coordinates in this pile of GPS coordinates, look at that, that's your southern border. Then find the northernmost ones and look at that, and then everything in between the tracks and the water and those two GPS coordinates will be your land. There's a legal description describing this thing. Zoning is saying residential. Taxes are $55 a year. It's nice and easy taxes. Those are some low taxes for land. And yeah, there's a Walmart not very far away. There's a hospital, an emergency room. So you know, if you get trouble on those tracks, the emergency room's not going to save you, but it's still nice to know there's one around if you're chopping trees and playing with a chainsaw and stuff. There's a school not very far away. There's, you know, I think that's, yeah, Terry's Restaurant and post office and gas station, and we got directions to just local supplies there, right? How far it is to supplies. So feel free to go drive around, look at this, see if you could find like a crossing on the tracks to get to the other side. that you could maybe take your trailer full of building supplies and stuff across and then drive down the borders, or just going to have to get creative on that thing. It's a nice long strip of property. Maybe somewhere in there there's an access point and you could go work on it from there. It's going to take a creative person to get across the tracks. I don't think you want to build a full-on bridge, but I mean, maybe one way of doing it, or a tunnel. I don't know. So you're just gonna have to figure it out. It's probably better to go to that boat launch and just have a barge, a flat boat, just keep shucking supplies across the river. It's not very far from the boat launch to the property. Okay, so there's the property, and I think I told you everything about it. Yeah. So hit that buy it now button if you want to go for it. Make that one yours, and we'll take it in the title and have a title company do the paperwork. You send them money, I'll send them paper, and they'll stamp everything and prove it and say, yes, sir, the land's yours, and ship me money and ship you paper, and we'll move on to the next one. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This is Luke Smith at ruralvacantland.com, bringing you another easy, cheap property in Cowlitz County, Washington, on the Cowlitz River. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one. Bye.